said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch, you filthy... Flyover State of Fear.
Welcome to Flyover State of Fear, and there's way too much shit on me, but I'm here with the original Fly Boys. We got Jusef, Brian, and TJ. It's been a minute since we've gotten together. How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
I feel great. Which one's Jusef?
I think he's over there in the corner. Oh
Shit, that fucking scared
Look
me.
a bit.
Damn.
Jusef is bones and all.
Jusef could be one of the biggest scares in tonight's movie, just with what he did just there. That would immediately jump him to the top of the list of scares.
I'm still waiting for the first one to happen, but we'll take it.
There were some scares in there, guys. It's a good
Shut
movie.
the fuck up, Joe.
Very scary. No, man, I'm doing good. I'm excited to be here with my boys. My head is indeed like a shark's fin.
Oh, okay. I love that a lot. Yes, I'm glad to be back with the boys. It's been a minute since the last episode we did about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so it's good to be back, my guys.
I'm here. It seems recent, but it actually was a while ago.
Yeah.
At least like 3 months, I would say, right? 2-3 months?
It's about that.
Looks like it was just yesterday.
So anyway, we're going to do these things a little bit differently today. This is our Halloween special. We're covering a Halloween movie, Hell House LLC, but first we're going to go through our old costumes and rank them that we wore all throughout our Flyover Halloween specials.
Yes, technically this is our 6th Halloween episode.
Yeah,
not
this is 6.
Including like the brackets and with the draft and all that.
Yeah.
So, and then we're gonna run through a little movie marathon for a perfect Halloween night for you guys. And so yeah. So how do we want
to like ranking? Like everybody ranks Joe's, and then everybody ranks.
Start. That's what I figured. We would start with one person. Everybody.
Let's all
rankings and kind of work our way through.
Let's all start with me myself. You could all rank me. I'll give what I think from worst to best.
Your bet. So you're gonna give your ranking of your own, and then we're gonna run through what we think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody gives their rankings of Joe.
Love it.
Cool. So for myself,
welcome to prime time, bitch. Oh.
Good evening, critters and ghouls. Welcome to Flyover State of Film's Halloween episode.
We got Joe and we got TJ. Joe. Oh, that was good.
Killer. That was legitimately. I think Scream legitimately spoiled that for me. I don't know if I'd ever seen original.
Jackie Daytona and a cell phone.
I think it goes the worst: Critters, Laszlo, Hatchet, Mrs. Voorhees, and then my Freddy. That would be my. I personally
flip-flop. I think your Hatchet was number 2, and I put Voorhees at 3. But I think they're similar costumes. You got like a half mask. You got the shirt.
I did a little.
Whichever one you prefer, right?
I did a little cosmetics to each.
Right.
Yes.
You had. Yeah.
See,
exactly.
I disagree because obviously everybody's going to put Freddy at first because that was a banger job of makeup, but
we can all agree on that, right?
I really love your Critters. Like it was the most effort in terms of like you had to pull something out of your ass and it kind of worked.
Yeah, because
the other ones are pretty straightforward. Like you just have to put
can you do that noise?
Like you have to create the Critters.
Oh, I don't remember it.
You went like this. You went. You went something weird when you did it.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I just, for the Critters one, I literally, because I always tried to do a costume for the
related to
movie we've been.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck did you do for Critters? I remember like I ran to like a Dollar General or something like that, and it was a gorilla mask, and it's like, was like, cut, it was very like manipulated.
I do
so that's
appreciate.
why.
I had it at the bottom, but I always appreciate the DIY nature of any costume. Like
that was one. So it's funny that Jusef puts that first because it was also like I'd say the most like mid binge too. Like if we were doing Hell House today, I'd probably like paint that clown with the blood eyes.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, but I thought I don't feel like putting on makeup and washing myself out today.
When we get to my list, we can talk. And Jusef, I'm sure, will have some things to say about face paint.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Anyone?
I was gonna say yes. Freddy obviously is gonna be number one because you went top notch on the face paint on that one. Critters, I think, would be number two just because when you first came on and you did it, and I was like, "What are we doing?" I didn't know if it was like because we did Planet of the Apes not too long ago, and you and Brian, I believe, did that one. Maybe it was Jusef and Brian.
It was Jusef and Brian.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Oh, you did the Planet of the Apes thing, and you did Critter." I was like, "Oh," and he did that weird noise. I went, Jusef, I know you got a lot go on your plate, but if you can go back in editing and find that noise he did in the beginning, it was top notch.
I do like that Joe was always really good about his costume. Very often matched the franchise that he was working on. That he was the only one to really get consistent with that.
I think it's nothing. If I'm nothing else, I'm consistent, guys.
Right. I never even tried. That never even crossed my mind.
It was always. It was like, well, there's something.
Yeah, it was very consistent for sure.
That was good. It was good.
But also, like at the same time, what would you say your weakest was?
I think your weakest is Laszlo because it's like low effort.
I think it's
like
looked
doesn't
good,
require
Laszlo.
a lot.
Yeah,
I think,
but it's not bad. It's just that you had such.
No, I think that's where it was. Of like the thought of being like, oh, that one looked good, and I have no qualms with it.
Laszlo's Laszlo's a fun, low effort costume if you're going to like a party, but it probably doesn't play as well on camera.
But,
you know what I mean?
It's weird because I'm gonna have to detail all these costumes like that. It had more effort than it looked. Like I ran to Goodwill and bought a vest, and like I went through a couple different like fake teeth options because they don't stick.
Yeah.
You know, I remember being like, "Why? There's so much more here just to get the."
I remember we did the bit of like not recognizing you because you had the
toothpick in. Absolutely.
The most devious.
I thought about just doing it and not trying to do a wig or anything, just a vest and a toothpick, and being like, "No, That's what makes Jackie Daytona. Like
just
jeans, a vest, and a toothpick.
Cravensworth. Yeah,
Wait,
no,
should
they
we
were
go
fun.
over our costumes now, or just kind of self-explanatory? Because we did them off camera.
Yeah, let's we could give a little explanation. I'm not putting the mask back on, but I was Carl Havoc from I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
TJ is a beautiful, beautiful woman.
I'm Sherry Moon. Damn it!
I think he's Sherry Moon Zombie, and not a character from any movie. He's Sherry Moon Zombie, the wife of Rob Zombie.
Who's tweeting about some alt-righty stuff.
Oh yeah, is she alt-right? I wouldn't surprise me.
No, I think she was on board, like very pro those like truckers at that one point. That whole thing.
I could see that.
Call me a lot lizard, if you would. You
do look like a lot
very
lizard.
lot lizard in this one. The top hat. And one of these days, I just want to tip my hat to everybody.
I'm Juicy Brucey from Jaws. I'm the shark.
Yeah.
Juicy Bruce.
And
we're just a family of skeletons.
You have the whole aesthetic though going with the background and everything. It looks great.
It's good. It's so good. All the skeletons. I need some of those skeletons for my own home.
Is that Sam next to you too?
Yeah.
It's the Sam Candy Bowl.
Let's go.
Oh,
love that.
Yeah,
Sam.
Yeah, Sammy.
I had a Sam costume. I was gonna put the hat on, but I was like,
Tall Sam is so upsetting. It's like when Harrison dresses up as Chucky. He's all tall and lanky. It's worse. It's like Chucky that like they put on a torture rack and stretched out, all gross and weird. Like Don Mancini's done some fun things with Chucky in the new show. He should experiment with that with lanky Chucky. Very, very off-putting.
I send you guys that photo of me dressing up the skeleton in my Sam outfit. And it was fucking terrifying. Where I'm like, nah, I don't want to put this on the front lawn. It may be Halloween night. It's too fucking creepy.
Get the actor that did Mama from Barbarian.
Whoever it is. It's like like an acrobat or something, or a contortionist or something.
Hey, what's his name? Doug Jones or something. Yeah, Doug Jones. You've played everything before. Why didn't you try your hand at Chucky?
Wait, was he the fucking mama? Or the
no,
it
but
was
he's
a random
just
tall dude.
he's just go-to lanky prosthetic.
Yeah.
But anyway, TJ, let's do your ranking. What do you think your best to worst were?
So thanks for joining us, Frozone.
Where's my super soup, motherfucker?
Quack, quack, motherfucker. And Howard. Oh my God.
Howard the Duck. TJ, who apparently fucking forgot that we were doing Halloween extravaganza.
On, we do one entry together, but
obviously I'm on the Prometheus episode. And
that's we're gonna fight who gets to be on the Prometheus episode.
Oh,
TJ's gonna go get the
Flyover.
TJ's gonna take a shit.
Oh,
oh my God! It's Teen Wolf.
Oh,
he's a lichen.
Wolf.
I felt so weird all day today, and I was just like,
"That's tight."
TJ. Oh, and a cell phone.
it's me.
Who's very happy to be here.
How you doing, old chap?
I mean, the obvious best one for me was probably Howard the Duck, just because it surprised everybody.
Yeah, that's my number one for you.
That's my number one.
I would say I had the weak.
Out.
I don't expect to be in the top running. I think I have the weakest costumes out of everybody.
Howard.
So it went Howard the Duck for me, Frozone, and then I kind of did this whole thing with I did also a Frozone too. I stole from Target. I took child costume, the whatever the thing you would like pay out on Target, and I put it in front of the adult costumes, and I just went to the end and paid less. So like Peter Parker costume I did was a child's costume. That's why I only had the top.
All right, boys, get them.
Yeah.
But I was gonna go the other way and say any kids watching, make sure to steal from Target.
My skeletons like
Walmart.
They're actually like Blue Lives Matter, my dude. So they're
So TJ, I think your ranking's right with mine for your own stuff. I went your Howard, Frozone. Your Frozone looked great, and then I went your Wolfman, and you did a really fun bit when you did the Wolfman too. Where
that's
you
what
were like, "What the fuck, man? You didn't dress up,"
and
you ran away, and you came back, and you like kind of ripped everything off and did your own.
Yeah.
So
I did that at a Halloween party. I walked in and everyone's like, "Oh, where's your costume?" And I was like, "I don't feel good. I don't really want to do this, but I'm here just to support everybody in the Halloween thing." And I went to a bathroom for an hour and I kept trying to put teeth on my fucking teeth, like the things and the nails on my fingers, and they wouldn't stick. So I just put the face thing on, threw some fucking teeth in my mouth, and I just walked out. And I was like, "This is what you got. This is all you got right now." So
I will say, I'll say right now, last year on Halloween, like whenever the sales were going on at Halloween store, they do have a really good type of teeth where you like form them. You know, you have to like put the special shit in and you hold them in, and they like get like a form thing where you can take them on and off, and they stay in really.
That's
good.
what wasn't staying on for me for Laszlo.
I wish it would have worked.
Like I
bought a set for me and Sarah and Harrison, and they all worked great. So I don't know, maybe it was like a different brand or
maybe
something.
we're just doing it wrong. We'll talk off camera about the teeth. It will come in handy.
I think we've all been there where we want to do something cool with like vampire shit, and most vampire teeth suck. I saw an ad on Twitter for the ones that are like, "Ooh, they're retractable, they come down." Nope, I saw a pair of those. They suck. They're terrible. They don't work. You try to like, you're supposed to be able to work them with your tongue, and you just like and knock them out immediately.
Just puke everywhere because it's
they fall down your throat.
Exactly, you're constantly drooling because you got a big plastic appliance in your mouth. Like, no.
I think about that with actors sometimes when they're like having like big, large teeth prosthetics. I'm like, how are you keeping that saliva in and not being, like
just
Rami Malek?
Everywhere.
The Buffy series, just like nonstop.
Oh, they couldn't move them.
They're doing
this now. I know.
Especially that season 1 Buffy vampire makeup. They're all like, I'm gonna get you.
Here I go. Jaw thing.
But then TJ, unfortunately, I do think like I think you were Dahmer at one point, or you said you were a phone.
I don't know what the Dahmer thing came from. I just threw it on for
that show was on last year around that time.
Yeah.
The phone costume was my weakest one.
Okay, yeah, so Peter Parker to the phone call. Now that
I think the phone was something you did for a different dress. I don't think it was Halloween.
Yeah, it wasn't Halloween.
Something else.
Okay. But
Maybe
either
it was
way,
a draft or something.
Either way, I did have Peter Parker changing worse than Dahmer, if that's what we're ranking, because I thought Dahmer looked better.
No, because Dahmer was low. It was low effort. It was in bad taste. It's the worst one by far.
It's real bad taste.
But I think
everyone was just like, everyone was like, "No, man, don't do it." And I was like,
"We all agree with the top 3 for sure. That it's like Howard, Frozen, and then Wolfman."
The Howard was such a shock.
That one for me was the most fun because I spent
it's like
probably a whole month trying to figure that out, and I still couldn't get it right. But it just the way it looked, it just made sense for the podcast.
Sure.
You
know? Let's go. Brian and Jusef's costumes are the strongest.
Yeah.
Going through every year. This is actually like Brian, both of you doing.
I don't want to say that your Freddy definitely does compete. Your Freddy competes with.
I think the first year is the strongest year overall.
Yeah.
I would say. I think we can all agree.
Yes.
It's probably the strongest across the board.
Yes, because I agree. So Brian, for you, what is your ranking? Because I think yours is pretty solidified.
Hello, and welcome to the Flyover State of Film.
First smash!
My mom warned me that the devil would be pretty with me. Got Brian.
Brian. Oh, as always with me, my boys. Brian the Viking.
Okay, so I don't know if this will be controversial. I'll start at 5, but my lowest, I think my worst, is the Hulk costume.
Oh, I was okay.
Really?
Okay, because I think it's derivative of the Thanos costume, and I don't think it's done. I don't think it's executed nearly as well.
No, it's good.
Fuck the makeup.
That's what.
I think number 4. I have the Satanist costume. 3, the Viking. 2, Bam Bam Bigelow, and number 1, Thanos. I honestly could cycle Bam Bam Bigelow and Thanos at 1 and 2. It's more of a favoritism.
I have Bam Bam.
I think Thanos is fun execution, but I think Bam Bam's my favorite because I just liked it the best.
Bam Bam was.
I really like the Viking one too. It's just kind of an outlier. I just wanted to do the costume. I didn't have anywhere else to really try it out.
Your head makeup for Bam Bam was so immaculate. Like I was looking at it today. But I think of the Thanos, I'll never forget the shock of us getting to like start the episode and you're like, I'm setting up and we have no idea, and all of a sudden it just comes and you're behind a fucking table and you're Thanos, and like that was like
that was like the only year I did anything with the background too. I had old Harrison's old Avengers masks and helmets hung up and stuff.
Yeah, it was very there was a lot going on that
I didn't remember that until basically I looked at the picture earlier.
Yeah, I have Thanos, Bam Bam, Hulk, Viking, Devil Guy as your last one. I don't know what to call him.
I put Bam Bam, Thanos, Hulk, Devil Guy, and Viking.
I have the exact same lineup as Jusef. I think Bam Bam, just because
Bam Bam was the best.
It's disappointing because I really like the Viking one. So thanks a lot.
Well, you look good. It's all together. Like you don't have a weak costume.
No, I don't like it. No.
I just think Bam Bam for you just fit everything about you, but Thanos with the glove that's when everyone wanted the fucking.
That was like the Infinity War year. Like I don't think Endgame had come out yet.
Exactly.
So
it was right. I think it was right after Pittsburgh when we did the fucking Endgame or whatever it was. We did. So like it made sense.
It was so in because that Halloween episode was episode 10, right? And that's the episode we all agreed made it. It all clicked for us on that Halloween episode.
Yeah, this is before Pittsburgh.
Well,
I wish I could go back though and do, because everyone was like, "Hey, TJ, do your Frozone," and I did the worst Samuel L. Jackson impression in my life. And I went back and I was like, "Man, if I really would have fucking did that better." But I think, Brian, Bam Bam, Thanos, fuck.
We'd all be podcasters living in New York right now if you did that impression better.
See, now we get to Jusef though.
Jusef,
all right, so
I'll be interested to hear what Jusef thinks.
Jusef, I think, I truly think you're elite in the costumes.
No.
Thanos-san kicked me in the face, bitch.
Oh. Oh, wow.
The lady Frida has joined us.
Frida.
Hola. Howdy ho, neighborino. Welcome back to another Flyover Instead of Film Halloween edition.
Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Flyover Instead of Film. That's right, guys. That's right. It's Halloween, finally. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Flyover Instead of Film. As always, with me, my boys. My order in terms of the amount of fun that I had with them.
Okay.
And do it. It's Tobias number 1.
That's so good. Because you had a problem washing that off.
It's a performance piece. It builds.
Yeah.
You know?
I just love the fact that at one point I was just rubbing my tit, and Joe goes, for those who are hearing, he is slathering himself. I fucking love that.
For those who are listening, by the way, Jusef is just slathering blue paint on his body.
I blew myself. When I saw that episode, because my wife was like, what did you do? And I was like, you just have to watch it. And she's like, you look like a fucking psychopath.
Was that the year we all got essentially blacked out drunk because it was 4 hours?
Yeah, it was super long. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Voorhees, the Pamela Voorhees costume for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that was a great one. What's your 2?
The Flanders, I love Flanders. Like I had amazing mustache.
The background.
I did the background. I had the correct shirt and thingamajig. Then Frida, because I just felt frisky. I was so frisky and naughty.
And I'll admit it. There's something about a drag woman, a drag queen with a beard, which is what Jusef essentially was. He was doing a drag performance of Frida. And I just love when a drag queen leaves the beard, but it's still very beautiful, like Jusef was.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh, you're making me blush.
You were a handsome woman.
Yeah, and then Karate Kid, because
he's got that was truly.
Dumper. I truly pulled it out of my dumper, the Karate Kid, because I literally didn't have anything for the podcast, and you guys were like, "Oh yeah, for sure, let's do costumes," and I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do for a costume?" And I pulled it out of my legit ass, and then last Steve Zissou, because he's just. I mean, I had the background and I had the correct accoutrements and the beard painted, but it was just, who gives a fuck?
I put Flanders as your one.
Huh?
I put Flanders as your one. I thought it looked so good, like just looked so perfect. But so did Tobias. They're like neck and neck.
I put Frida.
Yeah, I was pretty much on the I flipped.
And then Frida there, right at 3,
and Flanders at 3, and then Karate Kid. But I also put Coco because you look like the kid from Coco.
Because I was Coco.
I knew there was a red hoodie involved. I knew there was a fucking red hoodie
actually put Steve Zissou before Karate Kid. I put Karate Kid last because I actually, looking back, because I had to take the screenshots today, you look like the movie instantly, and you still dyed your beard. Like you always put makeup on, which was the crazy part of every one of your costumes. You always put some sort of makeup effect into your costume.
I did make up 4 out of 5 to be fair.
I think after, if I'm not mistaken, for myself, after the first year with Freddy, I think I was like, yeah, no makeup.
Although makeup over mask, because mask is so high, like you can't keep a mask on for 5 minutes.
Oh, makeup all day.
Keep a hood on.
Growing up, my mom was always like, yeah, I'd rather just do makeup or do whatever for your costumes, no mask. I don't want you running around Halloween with the mask on.
No peripheral vision, just running in the street.
Yeah, I still did a mask. Actually, weirdly enough, Freddy wants the mask.
The funny thing about always doing makeup, especially with the Tobias one, like I became Arrested Development. Like for weeks afterwards, I kept finding random spots of blue paint throughout my house.
Yo,
like
my
where you
favorite.
touch something or
Where
brush
I
up
touched
against
something,
something,
and
or
my
like
wife was
you
like,
didn't realize it was on your clothes and you threw your clothes and it got on the wall.
One of the best running gags in that show is after that episode and scene is just blue streaks around the model home.
There's so many good bits. I think one of my
I'm pretty
favorite
sure
bits
that
with that is
for
when he turns
myself-
around and you realize the middle of his back is not painted because he can't reach it. You know, he does it all himself, so there's like a big streak in the middle of his back.
I'm saying pretty sure, like for me, like getting the Howard the Duck, the white off my face took forever, but I had a whole like cap.
You
I
had a
used the
skull
Frozen
cap.
cap.
Yeah, you had the
Frozen
yeah.
cap. But you fucking dyed your entire head, which is, and Brian, you did it too with Thanos.
Yeah, Thanos
Oh,
did
the-
my whole head, and
the
then
bathroom.
the Hulk, all the green. The green, I think, was the hardest to get off.
Yeah, just hot
Yeah,
water
the floor,
and fucking
the
just using
floor
that, like,
of
drizzled
like I
salt.
had to bleach it. I had to bleach my tub because the floor had like a bluish hue.
Yeah,
to it.
blue's such a dominant fucking color pigment that it
Yeah, my wife was not happy. She was not
just
happy.
to play dress up with
I love
three
the
of
idea
your
exactly.
friends
She's like,
on the
"Oh, so
internet.
you could play all this for your fucking little podcast with your little friend."
You fucking destroyed the house for this bullshit.
You know how many magic eraser wipes I've gone through cleaning up your shit?
Trying to just fucking get that goddamn the hint of the blue off. It's still there.
He
You know
doesn't
what I
know
mean?
that I
Luckily for
bled
me, it
for
was
this
white.
podcast. You know how much I bleed for this podcast?
Literally, sometimes.
You have Halloween Kills. Check it out. All right. Speaking of
Almost
kills, next
Speaking
up
of
we
kills,
wanted
that's not a segue to anything.
no, but next up we wanted to do
A killer marathon for Halloween.
Yeah, a perfect movie.
A triple feature.
Triple feature, perfect Halloween movie marathon. So Brian, why don't you start us off?
Oh, well, thank you kindly, sir. I was thinking about, first of all, I was thinking about how I've talked about so many fucking horror movies on this show and so many Halloween movies on this show, and we've done drafts, and I was like, God, I gotta come up with something else. So I was like, okay, I'll start with like an idea of how are we building this? I want it to ramp up. I want it to start kind of like light and fun.
I think we built it a similar style.
Right, and then you want to get more severe. You think of it as like a movie marathon if you're doing like a midnight showing. So like the last movie that comes on at 2 a.m. is the most fucked up one. You know, that kind of thing.
The one you wake up to and get very scared of.
Yeah, exactly. The one you're like, I was having a good time, but now I'm a little too drunk, and this is really not cool, actually.
What the fuck is happening?
So I started nice and light with what I know I've talked about this one. I can't help myself, but fucking Paranorman, man. I'm like just one of the most incredible kids movies of the last 15, 20 years, and just a really fun, spooky starter horror. Like legitimately got some creepy shit in it, and
a tearjerker.
Great characters, yeah, emotional, a really good emotional.
I've never seen this. I gotta admit,
it's really good, and just support Leica anytime they put something out. Just go see it. Just watch it.
Yeah.
Like give them a little bit of love. Like they
legit.
And they're like
the worst
the last
that they can
do.
do. The worst that they can do is a good movie.
Right. They can either make a good movie or a fucking masterpiece.
They did Kubo in the fucking string.
Yeah,
right?
Kubo in the two strings is incredible. Missing Link was great.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
I didn't see Missing Link. I missed like his miss.
Yeah, but Paranorman is like literally an all timer for me. One of those kids movies that like I watched because I had a kid and was like, damn, I'm glad I had a kid so that I watch this because I might have just let this pass through and never saw it and be really bummed out about it, you know. So my middle one, this is one I actually rewatched recently and had kind of forgotten is even a Halloween movie, and then got reminded just the other day on a very bad list on Variety, but it's still a very good movie and it made the list just in a weird place. But I'm talking about Ginger Snaps. Canadian coming of age classic. Basically, if you were like a little too old, like the generation slightly before Jennifer's Body, those goth girls were into Ginger Snaps, and it's a good fucking movie.
It's like because it was
and
like
it's actually
the girl
a pretty good trilogy too.
It was like the girls would be into like The Craft, and then if they go deeper, they're into Ginger Snaps.
Well, I think it's just generational. Like, 10 years later, it's more like The Craft 10 years later, Ginger Snaps 10 years later, Jennifer's Body kind of vibe, you know?
Wasn't the lead girl from Jason vs. Freddy like the one that?
Yeah, she's the one who dies in the shower naked. Oh no, she doesn't die in the shower. She gets naked in the shower. Yeah.
You see boobs.
She was also on Hannibal.
She's very attractive.
Yeah, gorgeous.
But that's a great movie. And then when, like, of course, coming in last, you want to get fucked up, you want to get messed up, you want to get crazy, you want to see some fucked up shit and do some fucked up shit. You want to watch House of a Thousand Corpses. Finally, right. Gear up for that final. Like,
just not for me.
Shout out me.
It is
she kills it in that movie.
You know what? As like
Chris Hardwick,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre seen through the eyes of Rob Zombie, it's just kind of like a crystallization of his style. I think he kind of like tried to become more mainstream after this, but like it's pure Rob Zombie. It's like it's like the actual bridge between those fucked up cartoon music videos he used to do and the movies that he went on to do after.
Well, here's a question for you, Brian, because of this. I know you're a big fan of Lord of Salem, right?
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet. So would you rank House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, or Lord of Salem? Like, how do you rank those?
That's tough. You know, I actually I recently tried to kind of rewatch Devil's Rejects, and it's kind of a tough watch for me anymore. It's
slow.
Really brutal. It's really kind of nasty and mean.
It's more
even in a way that House of a Thousand Corpses
torture
is.
porn.
I
Yeah.
think House of a Thousand Corpses has feels more surreal. So it's like you can kind of step.
It feels like a nightmare. It's not a. Of course, it feels like a nightmare. Like you're brought in. It's a Texas Chainsaw. You're brought in.
And the thing is, maybe it's executed too well. You know what I'm saying? It's like too good at what it does, and
you've heard me say plenty of times on this show that was the movie. It was at the correct age to go. Literally, like a month prior, we were like, "Man, horror movies be funny. We like them now because we saw Dawn of the Dead remake, and we had a blast with it. We like laughed, and then like a month or so later, maybe a little longer, we were like, "Oh man, I've been watching a bunch. I've been laughing at them, not scared of them." And I rent House of a Thousand Corpses, and my fucking like 12-year-old or however I was like asshole just clenched up, and I was disturbed, and I was like, I don't get it. Like, I'm upset. I don't
get
it.
You're disturbed. You're uncomfortable. It's like it's working on a lot of levels.
I mean, it's essentially
like Sherry Moon cutting the scalps and like pouring gasoline on, dancing, and then running in bunny outfits. I was like, this is too. This is not. And I've revisited it since, and it's to me, it's like a fine movie. Like I have nothing against it, just not my style.
Yeah, he essentially took the 5-minute sequence of Texas Chainsaw Massacre when everybody is at the table and you're just like uncomfortable, and he just made an 1.5 or 2 hour movie out of it.
Although makes it so good though. That does undercut the stuff with Sid Haig at the gas station a little bit, which I have to say is a very fun part of the movie.
I never realized that you got Dwight Schrute. Obviously,
that was the first thing I ever saw Rainn Wilson in. And by the time he was I was like,
"Oh, this is like
6 feet under."
Yeah.
So like Rainn Wilson 6 feet under.
Yeah. TJ, to answer your question, I think I would probably put Lords of Salem at the top of that list as of right now.
I need to watch that. Yeah.
I really like it. I really like it a lot. It's a weird one, but I enjoy it.
It's like what's that one with Ethan Embry, the candy one?
Yeah.
What it was?
Oh, Devil's Candy. Like we covered that.
Devil's Candy.
So Brian, what would your 3 be? Oh no, you already did your 3. TJ, what's your marathon?
Oh well, I'm gonna do what Brian did. I'm gonna start off very easy for everybody, and I've done this. And my sister's fiance walked in because I have my whole physical media sitting up there, and he's like, "Oh, what is going on here?" And I was like, "Oh, that's what I want to watch for Halloween." He was like, "That's not a Halloween movie," and I was like, "Well, it is." E.T. E.T. for me is the quintessential Halloween film because it has trick-or-treating in it. It has everything you want. It's basically
the pinnacle moment takes place on Halloween too.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's it has a very like Halloween vibe because it's like fantasy and sci-fi. You know, so it
I was
feels
talking
that
about this
it
the
has
other
that
day.
seasonal kind of
in it.
vibe to it.
I was talking about this the other
Yeah.
day with a coworker because we were going through Halloween lists and whatnot, and it's such more of a Halloween movie than the Karate Kid. Like, I think Karate Kid has one scene, and it shouldn't like make like top Halloween movie lists, like even like family friendly. It's like it's not.
No.
I would think
but
Donnie Darko is probably closer to the level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of
It's like even
Halloween
when
that's
Michael
in.
goes find E.T. and he has to bring out the ghost thing and cover his body up and everything like that. Like it's all based around Halloween, which is the great thing because like when you think about like California and the West Coast, Halloween to them looks like spring to us. You know, Ohio. I know Jusef, you're in Texas now. Joe, you're in Jersey with me.
You ever seen Halloween 3? That's what California Halloween is like.
After ET, once you're feeling really good, I'm gonna bring you down a little bit. And for me, it's From Dusk Till Dawn. I'm going with the Dawn thing right now. Vampires. You get Clooney at the cleanest of himself. You know what I mean? He's just doing his thing. Tarantino doing his whatnot. But you get
You got Cheech's incredible pussy speech. Just
exactly. You get like this nice little bank robbery kind of
You
murder
get the best
thing,
band.
Yes, the band playing the body parts is probably one of the best things. So like, thank you, good night, and they just fucking explode
I
and
love
just
that,
walk out of there. That type of thing feels great for me because you can still have fun with it, and it is scary, but it's more fun. Like my whole thing is about having fun until I get to the end of it. Which
we did an episode on that, right?
Yeah, we definitely did an episode on that one. I'm pretty sure. And then the one person that we drag through the mud, or at least I do, Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead.
Oh,
for
great.
Me, the third one. Because I want to go like Alien, Vampire, and then you can either go like Werewolf, Frankenstein, the whole nine, mummies, but I want to go zombie because you can't have Halloween
all
without
classics.
dead bodies.
Yeah, I like how you curated that too of just being creatures instead of
creatures. Yeah, I always want to do like Anaconda or Lake Placid or Jaws, but like those can fall in any type of summer, spring type of thing. But when it comes down to it, like Dawn of the Dead, the remake from 2004 is incredible.
It's great.
Running Zombies is, I don't know if he's the one who started it. I don't know if it was him or Danny Boyle with 20 Days Later. I mean, if you want to talk
20 Days
about
Later might come
zombies,
first,
sure.
Yeah.
It also just keeps a great cast of characters. Like over the zombies, like the movie works because every one of those characters is a fun
every single
to
one.
go with.
He smartly, I mean, got to give it to the man. He knew to not try to remake Dawn of the Dead. He just took some of the idea, a little like kernel, people at a mall, and was like, now I'm going to make a completely different movie than that.
And
which is great. That's why his remake works and so many other ones fail.
Some of the best things too is like you got to think about it, like Phil from Modern Family, right?
Crazy that he's
one of the most
dickhead
lovable fucking characters of all time. But in this movie, he's one of the most hated but funny characters in it. Like, let me run across the parking lot on a ham sandwich. Like those lines for me build up everything in the film. And then what's her name from Split? She's so good, but so
Sarah Paulson.
Yeah.
No, that's different. That's not her. It's not Sarah Paulson.
No,
Sarah Pauli.
Sarah Paulson is from Glass.
Yeah.
Sarah Pauli was in Go.
And Sarah like Pauli is a big time director now.
She's a director now. She directed that one. The conversation. What was it called? The Talk. The one about the Amish women. I cannot remember.
Oh yeah.
Last year, it was one of last year's big movies.
Yeah.
No, these might not be based around Halloween but I mean, Halloween is so big to where you can go any type of horror at this point now. I mean, we definitely want them based around like being a Halloween holiday and everything like that. But like when it comes to that with Dawn of the Dead, something about that movie will always stick with me and always be one of my top zombie movies of all time because Dawn of the Dead 74 or 77, I forget what the fuck date it was, will always stay with me. But this one is better, if you ask me.
I think they're different enough that you can just enjoy them both separately. I think that's
100%.
what
I think that also
I had never seen the original till only a couple of years ago, actually. So I lived with the 2004 one as the only Dawn of the Dead for me for a while.
Yeah.
A big difference in the original too is is it feels more like not a documentary style, but this like it's not a linear. There's no linear narrative to the original Dawn of the Dead. It's just such a
leave them all.
here's situations and
kind of meandering. Like
it's more of like a
like
political
said,
thing too, because
slice of life. You're just kind of filming what happens. Like
in the first 20 minutes of the original Dawn of the Dead is like we're putting these people in certain things. We're locking them in there. We're not letting them out. Like there's a very political thing to it. So like this one, just like we'll just have fun. They're in a mall, and what would you do in the mall? Being locked in there with a group of people.
Yeah, there's not really
no
any social commentary in Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, nothing. No, and
no cool shit happened.
Well, there are people who argue that it's like a anti-immigration message, and there's people who've delved into like the imagery in his opening credit sequence and stuff, but like that, I honestly don't think he was trying to do anything.
So yes, so Jusef, being the immigrant here, what is your
what is my take?
Brought to you by Segway.
What is your movie marathon?
So technically, I'm not an immigrant. I am a citizen of the United States. Okay, Puerto Rico is part of the United States.
Ask the person next to you.
So I was actually thinking about it, just like Brian, in terms of like I feel like I've talked enough about good horror movies, or like specific movies that we like and blah blah blah. And it was a little hard to come up with 4 movies because I came up with 4 movies. So I decided to make a shitty marathon, but with the guise of I'm gonna be inviting my friends over, and if you've ever been with friends and you're watching movies, you're barely watching the movie. You're
background noise,
talking over it, and suddenly one good thing happens, and everybody looks at it and goes like, "Oh, fuck, that's awesome."
This guy gets it. This guy gets it.
So, sorry, my Siri is fucking me up.
I can see your notes.
It was literally
enhance.
hearing everything that I said and trying to word search it. Enhance. All right, so I have 4 movies, and all of them have like high points enough to draw you out of the conversation, talk about the movie, and just keep talking shit and drinking and playing. I have House of Wax, a Paris Hilton one. It has the death of Paris Hilton. It has the peeling. Right? Yeah, the new one.
Okay.
The peeling of the face of the supernatural guy, and then the ending where everything is melting. Everything in the middle can be talked over. Like you can ignore, and then every now and again you go like, "Oh, that's a cool kill," and it's only an hour and 45 minutes.
I put that movie up there with like Vacancy and a couple other ones. Yeah,
that's pretty much. I think like they all came out of the same year.
Yeah.
Then we're going Ghost Ship. 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Rough movie. There's
watch like the first 5 minutes, and then you talk over almost everything else.
Yeah, that movie is
so good though. The first opening sequence, amazing, everybody, and you can literally talk about that opening sequence for 40 minutes.
Belonged in a Final Destination movie, and they took it and they tried to build a whole movie around it.
Yes, and then you can ignore the movie till the end. The end sequence is also cool when they're revealing the secrets, and then you meet the ghost, and you meet the devil, and you're like, okay, that's cool. So you can literally be serving food during this movie. Everybody's eating.
Can I try to guess one of your next 2 movies?
Yes. No, it's gonna take a left turn.
I really wondered if you were gonna get 13 Ghosts on here.
I thought about 13 Ghosts or Ghost Ship.
Okay, so Ghost Ship is your 13 Ghosts.
Okay, can I just say something though? That would have been probably. I have a couple Flyover State of Films that would have been great for us, and that would have been top notch right there.
So now we're like everybody's like tired of talking, right? Now we want a actual fun movie, but it's still shitty movie technically. And we're going into Freddy versus Jason.
Hell yeah.
We want to get in the classics, but we don't want to watch an actual classic. We want to watch the shitty V versus
all
V
killer,
movie.
no filler. We want to watch the peak of the early 2000s cinema.
It's like
one
of the best lines.
The scene of Jason in the cornfield during the party when those kids are trying to like kiss on the girl, and he comes in, they still like the alcohol bottle at him. It's probably if they would have expended that more, it would have been so fucking good.
This
But I wish they would've.
Everclear's kicking my ass.
Why
Yeah.
are you there,
Clearly,
Jeff?
like the
Because who never drank Everclear? Well, we
you
all
know
did.
No,
you
it
know
makes
how
no
it
sense that
feels.
they have a picture of Everclear.
Picture of Everclear. He's gonna go blind.
Yes,
Um,
that's
I,
rubbing
Fear
alcohol.
Jason's one of those movies, much like
I just watched it the other day.
shows. We talk about Twister. It's perfectly executed. It
Yeah.
might not be a fine art, but it absolutely nails what it sets out to do. And as far as I'm concerned, that's
So
a
much
winner.
fun.
Like,
It's so
And
much
they
fun.
give Jason the treatment of like what Rogue One did with Darth Vader. Like Jason
Oh,
in the other
damn, yeah.
movies, he's like one kill every now and again, slow, methodical. In this one, he's just mowing down people left and right, breaking them in half. It's just like he's OP to the extreme in this movie.
I know we're not doing all these, but I gotta say, the one where he smashes Freddy through the one window and then drags him through all the, like,
It's one
when
of the
they're in the
best, yeah.
cabin, he, like, busts all the different, like, walls between the windows and drags him through the whole side of the cabin. Oh, I love it.
Even
It's so
Freddy
good.
with the oxygen tanks. When he
Oh,
has-
so that was what I was saying, TJ. The fucking auction just bam, bam, bam.
It's one of the
And
best.
then the
'cause he's
rebar,
like,
when he
yeah,
drops the
does that whole
rebar
thing
on
with
him, too.
everything with his face where he goes,
It's also
Just
great
narrow.
too because I actually I experienced it recently. The movie does a perfect way where, like, it never declared a winner how it ends.
Yeah.
But no matter what you're a fan, if you're a big Freddy fan like myself or you're a Jason fan, you think either one won,
Yeah.
which is such a fun way to do
Gives
that.
you enough no matter
Also,
what.
if you're a person who loved Entourage and you saw the girl who is the lead being E's girlfriend for the first, like, I think season and a half.
Oh, was she?
During that, yeah, like
Yeah.
you're just like, I know why you're in this show, and I get it, but like, it sucks that she never showed up anywhere else ever again.
She was like
She's
discount
kooky.
Elijah Cuthbert for a while, and then she just went away.
She's like kooky in real life, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
is she?
definitely like Eliza Cuthbert. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
definitely at this
girl
time.
next
I
door
remember
type
Elijah
thing.
Cuthbert was like in The Girl Next Door and stuff, and she was like when you couldn't afford to get Elijah Cuthbert in your movie, you put her in. Like,
Yeah, or Lindsay. If you
but
couldn't
I
get
love
Lindsay
her
Lohan,
line
you
where
put
she
her in
goes,
there.
"He's ruined both our pasts." Is like one of my all-time favorites. I think it's so dumb and funny.
I just watched the other day. I made a TikTok about how awesome that movie was, and it's the only one that's getting like I get like likes and thousands of views every day. People are like, hell yeah! Or people were commenting, being like, "This one stunk," and I was like, "But you remember it."
Yep. Hell yeah, I saw it in theaters.
I think I'm gonna close it out with Freddy.
Yeah,
I give
Yusuf,
momentum
I
there.
do have an honorable mention. Not an honorable mention for
My honorable mention was Hatchet. I'm gonna close out with
one.
just pure gore.
No,
Oh,
I think you made the right call by ending where you ended. No, what I think would fit perfectly in your movie marathon is if you included Stay Alive, the video game.
I've never seen it.
It's so silly.
Really?
It's so dumb. It's the dumbest that a video game you summon a cursed woman, like Rose woman, who kills you, like some madame,
Yeah.
by playing this video game, and these friends
You
get a
get Frankie
demo.
Muniz, you get Sophia Bush, like from fucking.
The
You
Rain,
get
but
goth
Green.
Sophia Bush.
Yeah.
Anyway, dumbass shit. It would fit right on. It would fit right within your like mid 2000s marathon. All right. My marathon, I was doing the same thing. I was trying to pick things that we haven't just did the usuals and talk about it. And I want to
The Frighteners and the Crow.
and Trick or Treat for the new heads. I just wanted to put in some things that I also thought would ramp up and have a good kind of night. And like you all said, like you're gonna be with a group of people if you're gonna do a movie marathon Halloween night or simply. My first pick is and this is probably if you know me, is I think Halloween is such an important family and kid friendly holiday that having that stuff is fun, and I really wanted to keep everything on Halloween. So Goosebumps Haunted Halloween, which is the second movie, I think it's just as fun as the first.
Yeah, I think
One
it's
of my
good.
picks in the marathon in the whatever draft that we did.
Draft we did, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect one to, like, if your wife who's afraid of everything, your kids are up, you'd be like, hey, we're just gonna watch this and like get in a good vibe, and then you go, all right, now it's time for bed. And the next one, and it really, like I said, I could also put 4 in here, and but more recently, Haunt. Super fun. Some creepy moments. It's a lot like I would say, it's not a found. It's a lot like Hell House LLC, where it's this like people in a haunt in a haunt area, and I don't know. I think it would be a good middling part to do that. I also you could slot that in, but that's where I'd be like, oh, we went to bed, but we could have a good time, drink a few beers, go forward, and then the final end of the night. I think we're just having a full fun blast. This isn't as unique or whatever to it is Halloween 3. I don't think there's ever a bad time.
Oh yeah.
You see Tom Atkins just like abandon his kids to bang a 20-something who just lost her
getting
dad.
drunk as a skunk in a dive bar.
She's so horny for him. It's crazy.
So horny.
Oh,
Everybody
like,
is.
let me ask you guys a question. We're gonna do this now.
Medical examiner who ends up getting killed.
Yeah, she's also everybody wants to
fuck
fuck
her. And they've definitely been together already. Like she wants to get it back.
Well, she's
We've obviously seen that Halloween Ends is bringing up like a lot of Halloween 3 type of vibes now. Do you think it deserves it?
You know, so like I mean, like I like the nods they had to it in Halloween Ends with like the font choice and like the TV stuff. It's just not the same. Like they're talking about that reboot too. Maybe it'd be like Halloween, and I think I tweeted out from the Fear account of like, you're not going to recapture that like odd magic that movie has.
The ship has sailed on making Halloween an anthology. That's not happening.
It's Michael Myers is bigger than the franchise itself. You stick with it.
You want to make a new anthology? Just go make one. Just don't try to call it Halloween. That's dumb.
The other one I want to throw in there, and then I guess honorable mention. We'll run through that, and we'll talk about the movie real quick. Is the Terrifier 2 is a Halloween movie. Like it's on Halloween night, and that was a ton of fun. Like I can't like lie. I had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to revisit this year. No, it's not great, but like but my problem with not putting it on the list. Sorry, my Roku just reset and it's making noises.
There's a reason
why. Is it's too fucking long. Like I'm not putting a 2.5 hour movie on a marathon.
No.
So that's why, like,
also a horror movie should never be longer than
a horror movie should not be that long.
No. It's too long. I just want to say, but it is a fun movie, and I get people's excitement to have a new slasher. They're also
I haven't seen it.
They're pretty shitty.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I never saw the first one. I didn't see
the first one is literal dog shit. Do not watch it. It's fucking terrible.
They're gonna make a third one, right?
Yes, it's getting a teaser trailer before the second one, like this week or some shit. Anyway, having said that, I also was gonna put what we were talking about tonight on this Hell House LLC because I do love that movie. But
does anybody need a nap in the middle of the marathon?
Yeah. It's a slow build. It's a good found footage.
It's an hour and 30 minutes. How can it be a slow
build? Let's just go ahead and intro it before we get started. Let's not step on. Go ahead and just tell people a little bit about it.
We're covering.
I was not. I found out later that my wife had already seen this. She watched it without me sometime, a couple years. It came out in 2015. So she had already seen it. But I had not. Somehow I missed this one.
Yeah. So this is 2015 found footage film, super independent. But it's like well made and I think pretty well acted for what it is comparatively to a lot of other films of this like caliber. But it's about 5 years after 15 people were killed during a haunted house tour. A documentary crew visits the scene and investigates what really happened. And these are just the results. And it's about this haunted attraction that we've all been to, something like that. This is in upstate New York. And it's about the crew going to set it up, and we get to see their video footage.
I'm honestly confused and a little appalled by this entire situation. Like why would we watch this?
I like it. It's
this
good.
this is a horror movie podcast, and yet we sit here and watch the death of like people. Like, why are we covering
This is a snuff film.
This documentary?
I mean, it's
Like
pretty realistic.
mainstream media.
We're just trying to have fun here.
There is nothing realistic about this fucking movie, Joe.
Hey,
And
there's one realistic.
I was going along with the
somebody saw the Blair Witch
idiot.
Project.
It just makes me so angry. Like, I
We
get,
just
I
sat
love that
here.
you picked
We
this.
sat here
This isn't a
watching
shot
the
at you.
death of like
not a shot
5
at you.
entrepreneurs,
Yeah, they're just trying
struggling
to make
actors.
money.
People were trying to gentrify a small town.
Can I just say one thing? So the first time we all met up was at Pittsburgh, right? In a house that we had no idea about. And there was that one room that was locked. But there were cameras everywhere. And we couldn't get into that one room. We all kind of like put things up and we looked in that room. We saw there was cameras and computers. But we left it be. We let it be. Us four could have made this movie 100 times better, but being
what a dumb way to come about this, TJ, because that's every fucking found footage movie you've ever
this
watched.
isn't good, though.
And I don't
Nothing
think I
about
could have
this
done
is
a
good.
better job. I actually think
This is really well done.
No, there's no likable characters.
What?
There's not one likable character.
All right. So you need
have to have
do you
one
also
likable
need
character
you
in a
also
horror
need
movie.
more than 5 days to watch this shit? Fucking.
I'm just I don't know what's happening.
I'm just saying this movie is not good, and I get we had play days to watch this, and I love that you picked it because it makes sense, because there might be two of us that like it and two of us that don't like it. Nothing about this movie was great. No likable characters, and I'm glad that all of them probably died in this fucking movie.
You're so heartless, TJ. Like, where's your compassion?
Who did you like? Name me a character.
I feel that like maybe somebody altered the footage to a certain extent because
it's not real.
Because they really wanted to paint Paul as this like rapey dude, and I feel like somebody altered the footage to put him as the bad guy, and I don't believe that he's the bad guy.
He's insanely creepy.
He's so creepy.
How old is she? That doesn't matter how old she is. Like, just keep moving with the camera.
So I think I don't have a problem with the way this movie was executed. I actually think it was for the budget. I do think that they maybe should have rethought, because a halfway decent haunted house probably costs more to make than this movie did. Because I'm like, you're up there for like 6 weeks or 2 months, and you're supposed to be putting on this thing that people are going to drive from the city to see. And I'm seeing a lot of, like, you could have used a little higher production value, which is not the movie's fault, but like maybe that's something you should have taken into account when you're thinking of your idea. That's fine though.
They have the beginning of the movie. It's supposed to be in upstate New York, right?
It's Abaddon.
The ambulance has
Abaddon, New York.
plates.
Okay, Google it.
Has Pennsylvania
Inform
plates on it.
yourself.
Why would a Pennsylvania ambulance be in New York, upstate New York? That's all I want to know. Just give me that.
Because that's where they could get. That's where the filmmakers could get the freaking ambulance from.
Yeah,
but you have to have a likable character, and they try to make the one guy, the main cameraman, the one guy who finds the girl in his fucking room, and the whole nine.
Yeah, Paul.
Like, he's
that's Paul,
guy.
sex pest.
Paul sucked. Paul was a nightmare.
Yeah,
they were all nightmares.
I actually think the guy that you're supposed to like is the guy who has the breakdown later, but then for no reason goes back. Can somebody explain what happened there to me?
I would love to start talking about it and explain to it, but I actually can't get it out without someone yelling over me that there's no likable characters.
I'm sorry.
So I don't know.
TJ, we're done talking about the unlikability of the characters, so leave that point behind now.
Done. Please,
Joe, tell us a little more about the movie, please.
I don't even know where we're at. So,
well, we haven't really talked the plot. We just
haven't talked about anything.
They're a group of friends. They're a group of friends. They've done this haunted house thing before in the city, but they've like decided to take it out. They got like a hotel.
Yeah, and they've had they like allude to having problems, and we met them up. And the person who's conducting all of this is like the only girl, Sarah, of the group. She's the main dude's girlfriend, and
she's
I think
being interviewed by our documentarian.
I think she's likable in the movie, and Anyway, but so you go through that and all this like weird. It's very slow build up. Like all this weird shit starts happening, but they see this. It's an old dumpy house. That's perfect. They're also strapped to its money. But Brian, answer your question about like there's that odd scene towards the end, right, where they're sitting in like
Shit's going crazy, you know. Shit's been breaking off, and everybody's getting wired. I get that, and then the guy's like, "No, I quit. I'm done." And then there's like the guy's like, "Wait, let me talk to you." And then it cuts to just he's like, "Okay, I'll stay." And I didn't. I just.
That's
I
like the weird scene in the cornfield, kind of, and they're sitting, and it doesn't like really fit in.
That he told him that they had always known about the shit that happened in the house, like the murders and stuff.
So
yeah, you know who I have a strong suspicion about? That Alex dude, the CEO. Why would you not? You know, they follow him blindly everywhere. You know who else is followed blindly? Cult leaders. It was a cult that ran that hotel, huh? Why wouldn't you want the backstory of that hotel to be a permanent thing, huh? You're building a haunted house.
Do it, and you're setting up a haunted house there. You would think you'd make that part of the attraction,
right? Suspicious, right? We don't see him die, truly.
Yeah, all right. So this is a great episode of Fear because I can't actually talk about the fucking movie with you guys now. It's all a bit.
It's not a bit, Joe. We are legitimately trying to figure out what is going on. I am trying to figure out what's going on with the movie. I wanted to know. I understand that like
know what happened.
There was real tragedies in the hotel. Is it just that they finally told the guy about it, or did they tell him that like, hey, we had to sell all our houses and we have nowhere to go. You have to stay and help us because we're gonna like we all have the reason we've all been living at the hotel is because I like cash in my 401k or I just didn't understand why he couldn't leave. Even if they told him about the tragedy, he'd be like, okay, that sucks. I still need to get the fuck out of here.
So I think there's two things working here. A, I think it's the loyalty to like your friend to stick around and do something, even if you're like bugged out by it. I think a lot of that was forcing. And I just think it was like that entity from the house there. I think there's allusions to that of like Sarah, like, you know, staring at the Mother Teresa statue, and they're like, what's wrong with her? Like there's like forces going on that are just basically keeping people there. I mean, we've seen that in horror movies before. It's not very well answered, and I think that's part of like found footage shit where a lot of found footage doesn't give you answers in the things where it's like we cobble together these videos, like they're not finding things out.
I don't know if it's that we're so numb to like the things that they do, but like there was the clown where it shows up, it pops away, and then it's
creepy.
Again. It's different things. It's creepy if you're 10. Definitely, it absolutely is. Yeah.
Oh, you're so cool, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be that guy, but it is that type of film to where it has those moments where you go, like, you can almost 100% guarantee that you can guess what's going to happen next. Now, when it comes to the entities in the black robes and the disappearing things, there's that one scene. Where he has the camera.
Did you watch the same movie?
Yeah,
what entities in black robes?
Yeah, the cultists in the end.
Yeah, the cultists.
Yeah, there's like
the guys in the whole thing where they show up.
Yeah, and they come through, and they're because they're the actors possessed.
The one scene though is where he has they put him in the basement by himself, and he doesn't want to be in there, and like they show that one hallway scene, and then it's like 3 heads, 2 heads, and then it's a bodies walking towards him. Very scary, very good. It took 40 minutes though, Joe, and it's an hour and 30-minute movie. It shouldn't take 40 minutes for us to get to those type of points for this movie being an hour 30 though.
I just think that's what you sign up with found footage, man.
Once I realized that they were very closely kind of mirroring a Blair Witch style, I knew that it was going to be subtle, and I was fine with that. I do think the one thing that they were missing, that Blair Witch has and a lot of other found footage movies have, is an element of second guessing. I think they do it with the characters where they're like, Paul's fucking with us.
Yeah,
they never make, like, I as an audience member never felt like it was that. Like, I think they could have done a few more beats to make me think that it might have just been one of them fucking with them. You know what I mean? Just to sow that seed of doubt, which would have made it a little more effective. And I also think that with the cultists and the black robes, whatever they were, that's also a slight slip where Blair Witch knew it's better to show nothing, because then you show this and you're like, maybe it didn't live up, maybe it wasn't what I wanted to see. But if you
it all happened so quick.
The girl.
I actually think it was
the girl
pretty
sitting in the
decent.
bedroom.
I just think
right?
it was trying to hit a note and like falters a couple times.
So there's
but overall,
it's not a perfect movie. I just like we're just coming at this with so much fucking aggression.
No, well, you know. It's,
hey, yo, did you make this fucking?
Did you make the movie?
I did.
I'm just saying the girl.
Assaulting you?
The girl
it
sitting in
feels
the
like Joe's
bedroom.
never been on this show before.
The girl sitting in the bedroom and
Joe.
him hiding underneath the sheets. I mean, come
That's
on.
great.
He's a grown ass fucking man.
Oh no, I love when the dude pulled the sheets over him. I totally bought into that.
3 times.
What else do you do? What else do you do? She's between you and the door.
You get up and you do what the girl did in fucking Chucky series, where you slam the doll on its head 20,000 times because you know it's not fucking real. Like you wake up and you slam the fucking dolls around, like the mannequin with the ghost, the clown thing. Like there's a thing where if I woke up and I saw a girl sitting in the corner, not even in the corner.
Have you ever watched the movie? Like these are complaints that like people that don't talk about movies have. Oh, I'd kick Chucky down the stairs if I were. That's all you're sounding like, man.
But it's a horror. Like it's one of those. Okay, so if I'm a 28-year-old man, right, and I'm sitting in my bed, and a girl walks in, you don't hide under the fucking sheets. I don't give a shit if you are.
It makes sense in this scene. I don't know how.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't know, man. If you see a ghost or a fucking
ghost, it's just a girl sitting on the fucking floor.
No,
Also,
you didn't know what it was.
That scene's super creepy. It didn't work for you. That's fine. But like to be like, oh, the characters. It's like we could do that about every movie. It makes no sense to have that criticism. But they also set that up. They also they also set that up earlier. Is the guy when he first starts filming himself, you see his silhouette with some hair and there's that red light out there, which I also think it's silly. There's a red light outside of your door like that, like kind of dumb. I just assume it's like an exit light or something.
Well, it's one of those things. They're building a haunted house, so they probably just have weird lighting because they're making a haunted house, you know.
But to say like I would have done it differently, like all right, like we could do that with everywhere. We talk about Prometheus all the time, and everyone's complaint is, oh well, I would have just ran to the left. I wouldn't have taken off my mask. Like it's the same shit. This is the same complaint.
But this isn't Prometheus. This is not a different planet. This isn't something I'm going to. This is a regular person sitting in a house, and he sees a human woman sitting on the floor.
Wakes up and sees like some exorcist shit sitting in their bedroom, staring at them. No.
So you're gonna hide underneath the sheets, Brian?
Quite possibly, yes.
Okay. Well, then we're different people, and I completely understand.
I understand that you're a big tough guy, and you would powerbomb that girl through a table. I get it.
Try to pull that
Y'all
shit
are
on me.
very impressed. You're very alpha.
Don't try to pull that on me. I'm not that type of guy where I'm like, I'm gonna
I would get up and I would power slam her. I would choke slam.
But I would at least be like, hey, butt across the fucking face, be like, are you real or not? Because if you are, I slapped you, lawsuit, sure. But it's not. That the whole thing is like, and I'm not taking a shot at you, Joe. Don't get upset with me. I think it was a great pull for this episode. I'm just saying that it doesn't make complete sense for what they were. There's supposed to be a bunch of people making a horror movie or a horror house, right?
Yeah.
But they're scared of the dumbest fucking things in the world that they've already put there. Now, I will give you the clown. They set up the mannequin thing where the head doesn't turn, the heads are turning, the whole nine all makes sense. But everything else outside of that, come on, guys, what are we doing?
I hadn't thought about it, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree that they do seem a little easily spooked for people who are making a haunted house.
Yeah, the one guy running around.
I do agree a little bit, but also the stuff that happened in the house, if you didn't know ahead of time and you were fine and you'd been staying there, and then like shit's already happening, and then you find out about it.
They cut to like the guy talking, and it's like the woman and child came here were murdered here and hung. Yeah, if you don't know beforehand. But at the same time, like I also think when those things happen within the house, we've already spent enough time with those characters where things are weighing on them. The lack of money, the oddness of the house is leaning on them. They're going a little mad, kind of all themselves as characters. You know.
I'd like to hear what Jusef has to say.
No, my bed died. It's a good idea, badly executed. I'll say. I like the concept of
Well, the concept of the for
building
real haunted
a
house is a thing that's been kind of
Yeah,
popular
it's
the last
done.
10 years.
yeah.
For a
No, I
while.
like the concept of like a real like you building something that's turning on your head. I do agree in the sense that there are moments where it's just character wise it doesn't make sense, especially when Paul shows them the footage and they go like, oh, why are you fucking with us? And it's like you can see it with your own eyes that like there's no way to trick you, but they keep
I
ignoring
thought
it.
that was funny because like they're like, oh, you're fucking with somebody helped you. Well, basically everybody in the house is accounted for in the video. So
Yeah.
who is helping me? Like,
Yeah, there's like not great acting in some moments and good acting in others. It's
found footage
inconsistent.
stuff, though. I was willing to let some of that pass. You know.
But like, and then like, there's multiple setups that I wish they'd set it up to underplay it or to flip it on his head. Like when Rapey Paul keeps, for some fucking reason, angling his camera between his shoulder and the hole. Like obviously, you as a horror fan kept going like, "There's something gonna be
Someone's
there.
gonna
Something
go
gonna
there.
be there." Yeah. It would have been better for it to be like always that angle, and when he finally changes the angle, that's where the actual ghost is. It's not where, yeah. But like that's type of stuff, like, but like, yeah, it has some tense moments in it.
They also
some
set up to
spooky
where like the
moments.
clown, the guy who does the eyeball thing, right? He's the clown who runs out, who has the key for the girl on who's
Yeah.
locked up. They set that up to where like he was the girl talks about how he was the first one to run up the stairs and how they knew it wasn't fucking, it was legit once he ran up. Like, oh, it's if this was real or if this was part of the act, it's amazing because so and so. But then I think it's all about the people in the black robes that threw me off because like at that point you're like, okay, sure, it's
don't really like
full
focus
mask,
on
black
that.
robes, hiding in the corner. The girl, they did the Blair Witch thing. The girl in the corner when they find her like fired into the wall. Great scare. And then they set that up with her looking at the Mary statue in the yard.
Yeah, she's her like conduit into
and I think the reveal that she was killed. They've been talking about
that's really well done, and
I like
the fact that you know she's revealed in there at the end. She's the one giving the interview. You know, she gives all the cameras, and then we do see the footage of her getting fucking brutally murdered by Paul.
Yeah. Amazing how cameras work when you smash people's faces with them. Camera's still working good.
But that worked though because what they did is they put the camera down and then you had just the audio of her being like, "You should go check it out. You should go into the house."
And
if you
then
have any question, I'm in 2C.
And then the documentarian, who's a real idiot, is just like, let's go through the house. Let's find her again. Because she's staying at like 3B, I think it is, where 2C doesn't exist in like the hotels. But so they go, and like that's all just like, I think, fun ending kind of scare going through. And she's kind of getting giddy about like.
There hasn't been a 2C since 1955.
Yeah, it's, I don't know.
We never had
like,
a 2C.
It's like I said, I don't mean to take this too seriously, but it's a fun.
No, I get
it,
man.
Fun
it's your
horror
first movie. It's your first movie. You made it with your heart, and we're sorry that we kind of made fun of it. We were having fun.
I agree. I think it was pretty much. Well, excuse. There's a couple things that like, but again, like on a shoestring budget. I'm sitting here from my armchair, having never made a movie, and nitpicking. I think
but that's
for its budget and for its level of execution.
I've watched a lot of these
pretty well. There's just some things I think it could have improved. And it could have gotten to that Blair Witch level.
I think
with
a lot of these
small changes. You know,
a lot of I've seen a lot of these type of shoestring budget movies, and they're all
compared to some of the other shit I've seen on Shudder and whatnot.
They're all like that's why I even say even when the acting's bad, like most of those characters are pretty more believable, and like even them being shitty and scummy,
they're real people.
I rather than it being like, well, they're all perfect and they have this great intention of putting a haunted house, like
doing a haunted house so they can raise money to save the children's center.
Because the reality is if you want to dig into it, it's their finances also make no sense. None of them have real jobs where they just haunt people that rent spaces and they live in New York City, because they keep talking about Queens as if this big incident, which is an interesting like backstory and lore. And like, but the funny thing about the Hell House series is they all like they got bigger budgets, because the guy who directed these has only made, everyone who's in these movies has only made Hell House movies for the most part. It seems.
How many are there?
There's more.
There's 3 Hell House movies, or sorry, but there's a 4th one coming out on. It's like exclusive to streaming to Screenbox TV on at the end and Halloween.
Okay.
So like
they're all directed by Robert Chandango.
They're my dad. They're
Bobby
directed by
Chandango.
Stephen Cognetti, and like literally the only thing he's made, and so like they build up on this lore and stuff. And the truth is, I can't tell you what 2 and 3 were like, because I don't remember them, because I binged them all in like one day. But I've watched this movie about like 4 times in the last few years. Like I do.
I feel like it's a good movie to watch in a group and laugh at the certain things and
you guys
live
don't
in
have
the
to like
tensions.
No, it's
live
got,
in the
and I do think
tensions
it has
of some
legitimate
moments.
scares. I don't want to take that away. I thought it had some a couple good spook 'em ups.
One of my bits that I was
Sorry
gonna make
for
is like,
ruining your bits.
the horror genre got something right from real ghosts, and that is that they love to be pranky. They love to play pianos. They love to move things. But yeah, no, like I feel like it's obviously like I was watching with my wife, like As Above, So Below, and we were watching Wreck as well. And there is something to the character is not in front of the camera. The camera is the character, and you're going through the actual haunted house that does build tension inherently. I again, like I'm saying, like I like the idea. It's just like the execution is not fully there, and it's not due to the budget. I feel like it's due to the script. I know that TJ is harping on like a certain moment in the character's decision.
Fucking shit on right now.
But no, I'm saying like the hiding in behind the sheets, like.
Yeah.
Obviously, now horror movies tend to be very hyper aware of the audience reaction to it in terms of like
if I would have seen
how
this,
would I react to the moment, which is a valid argument if you want to have it, but this movie doesn't allow that like leeway of how would I react in that moment. Like, there's no moment where I go like I identify myself with that action. Like I can't justify it. So that's where it created a disconnect for me between me and the characters that are experiencing.
Yeah.
If I was awake during our Pittsburgh trip, and I was like, readily available to do anything, not wrapped around a toilet, thanks to Jusef, we could have made this movie in Pittsburgh as like 3-4 guys getting to fucking make a podcast, and it's a horror movie in a Pittsburgh house.
That would be fun.
That house probably has some shit going on.
It would have been terrible though.
Yeah, but this was terrible. So
I don't feel it's terrible because
it's terrible at all.
It's not good. I'm not gonna put it on a pedestal. But
also, this is
like I really do love. I really do love the shoestring aspect of it and how well executed it could have been. Like I feel like it's one of those movies that you go like, oh fuck! It's just like it needed some a read through. It needed
that's almost exactly what I was saying.
Yeah, I think
it's like a few just tweaks from being a real legit classic. It could be on that level with just a few changes.
I think it needs
not even changes, like just additions. Like.
I think it also needs to. I personally, I don't like how it starts too. Like, I am not a big fan of like we do this like the documentary starts and then we cut away from in cut people talking.
No, going back to the documentary.
Like the guy pops in, that one
it's
guy.
It's not a very well executed documentary.
Look, I think what's really well executed of that intro is like the news footage, and then like here's a YouTube video that someone uploaded. Like that all looks as real as it can.
I would like to have seen some of the experts pop in a few more times and like explain a few things, or like that would.
Did YouTube pay for this too? Because they say YouTube a lot.
No, it's just it's just when it was made. I don't think they were really,
One of my other bits was that I feel strongly that that reporter is the bad guy. He couldn't help but smile throughout the entire fucking thing, describing horrible things. He's
all like,
so nice.
And then I saw all the blood, and you know what
I
happened.
pointed the camera down the stairs, and it was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen.
The most fucked up.
It's also just so concerning of the ending and with the characters and stuff like that, of being like, yeah, so we're gonna chain the girl up, the actress up making nothing.
Yeah,
and
it's just like
they kept telling you she's not gonna get naked, but we will, of course, strip you down to your bra and panties.
Yeah,
and you'll
but
be
like
hung here
the
for
thing
hours,
is, like,
stared at and ogled by strangers, and
everything else is so, not true. And then they're like, we're gonna really chain you up. You're not gonna be able to.
You can't just hold your hands up here and hold on to something. No.
And we just have a large guy watching you.
Yeah.
And like I said, I like how they do set up the we can't get cameras down there, this and that.
Yeah,
like
they do the stone wall.
They do the cliche, like they move the Bibles and someone's like, that doesn't seem right, and that clearly is the thing that starts
spikes, yeah.
The haunts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no,
the
that part's
one
always
go
like,
into more of the
I don't
the
remember.
actual cult.
I don't remember. I have no memory. I think I'm gonna watch them this week. They're all on Tubi. Like 2 and 3 are both on Tubi. So I'll report back.
What are the names? What are they called?
One is
Hell House 2, Hell House 3.
I have the wiki up here. Hell House LLC, The Abandoned Hotel, and then Lake of Fire is 3.
Lake of Fire.
And that was they were both Shudder releases. Like,
Okay,
this movie has its fans. These movies have its fans.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but so does Terrifier.
That's about right. That's about right.
Too.
Shudder release.
But like I said, the 2 and 3 are not like really well received, and like right here, even the wiki, like 2 is like bloody disgusting. Who I feel like is everything good stuff is like well intended misstep. It's the pull quote.
Well, and I think especially, and I think it's because me and Joe watch a little more horror, and we like watch a little more variety in the quality of horror, that I can definitely agree that like there's way worse garbage out there than this. This is like, it has some care in its execution and its attempts. It's actually probably just a little too ambitious more than anything.
I mean, getting shot in the leg is not as bad as getting shot in the face, but you're still getting shot in the leg.
Yeah, well, that's fair. Yeah. A dog turd isn't as bad as a horse turd, but
yes. No, it's I don't know. I'm still gonna watch it around Halloween time and enjoy it. I think those 12-year-old scares work for me.
I think I'll watch the Blair Witch and remember that this wasn't quite that good.
Yeah. So for me, I also think I like to separate it too, like comparatively to Blair Witch. Is like Blair Witch is so serious to me, where I'm like, I'm gonna watch this down and I want to get like into it with the Blair Witch, and something like Hell House. I'm like, I mean, I put this on at 6 a.m. the last time I was in Pittsburgh over the summer because one of the only options on this streaming app they had, and I was like, well, I like this movie, and I was like, what? People that were there were like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, it's not that scary. Like, it's just a fine background note, like movie. And like, that's where I like to live with a lot of my movies.
Yeah, it reminded me of
it's definitely one where you can just put it on and look up every so often and be like, oh yeah.
Oh, Lake Mungo? Yeah, that one's fucked up.
Yeah, but it's also like another well-intentioned movie that just kind of, for me,
I think that's all. There's a lot of
and it falls into that cult class. Like, I think movies like that like almost hit the mark often find cult audiences who like kind of are more willing to kind of close the gap themselves and be like, no, I see where you were going, and I'll enjoy it anyway. You know?
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's a great way to put it. Like, it's definitely there. But yeah, like I just revisited The Last Exorcism, high budget found footage, like with Patrick Fabian went out. But movie was better than I remembered. It was not. I remember the same thing. It was a lot.
I know they had a sequel to it.
Yeah,
that's wild.
like it's a lot slower than than it has any right to be, and I do think that's just kind of what we sign up for with the found footage genre.
You know what? I feel like I'm not a fan of the fan footage movies for the most part. Like Paranormal Activity, I fucking hate them. Blair Witch, I don't like it. But the one that I was surprised I really gravitated towards, and I've seen it multiple times, is As Above, So Below. That one is very fast paced.
Yes, yeah.
And the VHS franchise is keeping found footage and horror anthologies alive. So if you're, you can always like pop in a VHS sequel. They're putting them out every like 6 months, I think.
Oh my god, there's so many, and they're like I haven't seen.
I've only seen the first one.
The first one's legitimately very good.
There's a lot of variety in them. I think
their one is rough. Viral.
I think like a lot of anthologies is very hit and miss. Like, but that's the thing. It's like great. You've made 6 VHS movies, and each one of them outside the first one has like one segment I want to watch, and I don't want to. I can't sit down with your whole franchise for that.
So yeah,
if you were Topher Grace.
If only. That dream, man.
A cool thing about the VHS franchise, I saw a quote today, though, is I guess whoever sees it all in the production was like, we have no oversight. Basically, you submit your short, and we'll, or not submit, but like you make your short how you want to make it, and we're not touching it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
cool.
Cool.
Definitely. I can see why like especially like young horror filmmakers or more indie horror filmmakers would want to get in on it.
Oh, that first one was getting some powerhouses in it. Anyway, this is not about the VHS. There was some contention. We've gotten through it. It's all fine.
It wouldn't be a Flyover episode if we didn't almost come to blows.
But
Take that as you will.
That is Hell House. It seems we're about to, as TJ predicted, we're about divided on it. So this is any final thoughts anyone want to give before we sign off on this Halloween?
It was a good pick, Joe. I think it was a good pick.
Mustache? What was the guy with the mustache an author of? He just said author.
With the dark-haired guy, we got talked about.
Interview.
He was one of the experts with the beard. He looked like Lon if Lon cleaned himself.
That was Lon. Yes, so he looks like Lon.
I think he was part of the cult because nobody can maintain that type of manscaping.
Also, the redheaded fucking guy with dark hair. The guy bothered me too.
A redheaded guy with dark hair bothered you?
Oh, like the big ears.
I wanted to make one more joke before we left.
The guy with the big ears.
Yeah, big-eared guy.
I thought he was likable. I thought he was more likable. He was like just the background kind of comedic-ish relief. No one's comedic.
Tim Heidecker at some point. I was like, wait, is that Tim Heidecker?
Oh man, this would be a much funnier movie if Tim Heidecker. No. All right. Yeah. So that's Hell House LLC.
Do you rate it?
We don't normally rate on Fear.
Okay. Oh, we're on Flyover instead of Fear. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I mean, are we?
We're not, because this is not how our show structures. So if you want to rate it, give me a ranking, TJ.
I want to do a ratings phase.
Ratings phase.
Ratings phase. 5 out of 10.
Okay, that's higher than
It's not bad.
I feel like
it wasn't bad. I'm gonna say it wasn't bad. I just was.
No, I get it. Yeah. You were expecting more of. Jusef.
I'll give it a 4.
Okay. Damn. Brian.
I could probably get this to like a 6 or a 6.5. I think, like I said, aside from a few I think not even missteps, just missed opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like a few little additions, a few little tweaks. So I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah, I obviously high on this side. It's a 7.9, 7.8 for me. Yeah, it's right up there.
Give it a perfect 10. Go tell us.
Yeah, it's 10. I don't have any criticisms to this. I'm shitting my
movie,
pants.
Untouchable. Godfather.
The acting's so good. It's realistic. It is real. Like Jusef said, it is realistic. We did watch a bunch of murders.
True.
We did, yeah. The guy slit his throat at the very end. That was tight. After he beat the shit out of him.
I just don't know why we watched a snuff film.
Yeah.
His breathing after slitting his throat was tight. I give him that.
We're all big fans of the game Manhunt. All right, that's my time. Everyone have a very happy Halloween. Good night. Bye.
Stay frightful.
Welcome to Flyover State of Fear.